What's up YouTube, this is Collect Pokemon and welcome back to another video. So for those of you who are concerned about my safety, I am absolutely safe. I am back, I'm no longer held as a hostage, and there's nothing you can't solve with Pokemon cards. All they wanted was some Evolving Skies and some Tag Team All-Star, throw in some Evolution Booster Packs, and there you go. They'll let you go. I was joking. I was not kidnapped, I was just away, traveling, and I am back right now. So here's the thing, what I'm not going to joke about is how I'm going to quit grading Pokemon cards. Well, I know it's a strong statement, obviously it's to get your attention, but there will be some exception. But most of the Pokemon cards, for the longest time, I've actually stopped grading, and here are some reasons why. So let's get into this video by hitting the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell, and support me with the membership program, and let me know what you guys think. Are you guys still grading Pokemon cards, or are you not grading Pokemon cards anymore? So here's the thing. In this video, I'm going to talk about not grading Pokemon card in terms of the investment perspective. And then I'm going to talk about how I still grade certain Pokemon cards in terms of a collector perspective. So there's a little bit of a different perspective here. So to know why I would stop grading Pokemon cards, you need to understand why I graded Pokemon card in the first place. So traditionally, in historical time, no one cared about grading Pokemon cards. I mean, there are two people who cared, SM Pratt and Gary. Those are pretty much, maybe TCA Gaming. Those are the only three people that really care about Pokemon trading card grading. Back then, trading card was not graded. PSA didn't exist because of trading card game, they exist because of sports. People wanted to authenticate the sports, the memorabilia, the autograph, and most of these autographs are either signed on a ball, a bat, or a card, and that's where they come from. And there wasn't much to authenticate. There was not a lot of signature cards to authenticate for Pokemon. So yeah, it wasn't really a thing. And I mean, back then, even the largest trading card game, Magic the Gathering, no one graded cards. I mean, nowadays people grade the vintage, the alpha, the beta, but they don't grade modern Magic card. I mean, let me know, other than the One Ring, let me know which one of you guys actually go and send in, Thunder Junction for grading or something along that line. So, or a Mana Creep for grading. So, Pokemon card or trading card grading is relatively new, and because it is relatively new, what a lot of Pokemon investing channels are not telling you is that investment changes all the time, and trading card PSA graded or Beckett graded or any graded cards, it's no longer a good investment. And hear me out. You might think that I'm very, very critical, but I do believe that I have some points. Because I graded cards, I graded a lot of cards back then, because I know it was very, very profitable. And when I say it's very, very profitable, it was very profitable in the short to mid term, kind of like 3 to 5 year period. The first year, 2016, when I first started grading, I was exploring different cards, whether it was a low pop report card, whether it was a promo card, Japanese promo, whether it was a gold max potion, gold rare candy. I graded all types of cards to see which one is really worth grading, which one is really worth flipping or investing in the short to medium term. And I settled with certain high-end hyper rare cards back then, and I think that one of my most successful type of grading cards were either the promos, the Japanese promo, I love grading those, and another one being the hyper rare of certain cards like Charizard, Pikachu, and these sort of chase cards. And I think back then in Burning Shadow, actually before we get into that, you need to also understand the chase card price for each set of cards. And the booster box price back in the XY era, we see that the chase card is usually $60 or $70, whereas the booster box is around $90. There wasn't one chase card which is more expensive than the booster box back then in the XY period. And in the Sun and Moon period, things started to change. We see chase card being slightly more expensive than the booster box, and that is where Burning Shadows comes in. Burning Shadow at release, it was around $90 a booster box, but the Charizard Hyper Rare was selling for around $110, $120. Back then, Collect Pokemon, being, wanting to invest in stuff, was thinking, hey, I will need to open an entire case, and I might not even get a Hyper Rare Charizard, so I might as well just buy Hyper Rare Charizard. So what did I do? I buy 8 to 12 Hyper Rare Charizard, and I got it all in. I checked the condition, I sent it all to grade. I think 6 to 8 of them got PSA 10, something along that line. I held on to it for 2 or 3 years, and I sold it at around $2,000 each. I still have a few, but yeah, I sold it around 2,000-ish because that's where I saw the ceiling was. It wasn't going up anytime any soon. So I sold it, I think this was close to pre-COVID 2021 era. And basically I sold it off at that time. And it was great profit. 2017 or 18 cards selling hold for 2-3 years, you can make a large profit. At the same time, the Burning Shadow booster box was still selling for like what, $500 from 90. So I was really happy. And then things started to change. Cards started to be printed more and more. And my rationale in buying Pokemon cards, grading Pokemon cards, and selling it or investing in it starts to really change, especially with what we're seeing today. So I've pulled up some numbers, and I want you guys to think about these numbers. Now, the first card I want to talk about is the Umbreon VMAX, or the Moonbreon. Back in 2021, a PSA 10 version, a PSA 10 copy, sold for around $500. It was selling for $500. These numbers are actually, if you go on the PSA auction realizing website, so PSA, search up Umbreon VMAX PSA 10, and then click on 10, and then you'll see the auction off price and the sellers and so on. You can check that out. So in 2021, these cards were selling for around $500, $600. In 2024, they're selling for $1,100. It doubled. Yeah, it was great. $500. You could have bought it for $500, and you could have doubled it, and it's $1,000. Seems to be very, very good money, right? But at release, this card was way above $100. It was like $200 for raw. And you have to gamble in order to get a PSA 10. Keep that in mind. And if you do get a PSA 10, let's just assume all those cards you've gambled on get PSA 10, you double your money. But what if you spent that $500 buying booster boxes? Just sitting on booster boxes. Evolving Sky booster box in 2021, you can buy it for $100. Yeah, you can actually buy it. There was a video that I made, Would You Rather video, and it was selling for $100. Now it's selling for $650. You can 6 times your money. Whereas if you bought a PSA 10 copy, you can only double your money. And not to mention, it's not just that. You could have bought 5 booster box and 6 times that 5 booster box money, rather than buy 1 PSA 10 copy and double its money. So it's really not worth grading. It's really not worth investing in graded cards right now in the 2024 era, because it's silly, because it's just, it's a waste of time, and you have to gamble, you have to pay PSA, you have to pay shipping, and this is so much more concerns that you will have, and there's so much more risk that you're taking. So yeah, why would I even grade any of these cards anymore? What about the Pikachu VMAX? Remember Vivid Voltage? Yeah, Collect Pokemon, you're talking about Evolving Skies. It's an amazing set. Maybe you should talk about a shit set. Okay, I'm going to talk about Vivid Voltage. Everyone thinks Vivid Voltage is a shit set. Well, I don't think it's a shit set, but the money that you get, the investment is horrible. You could have bought it for $100 in 2021, and in 2024, the booster box is only $140. So basically you gain 40%. That's pretty much it. Yeah, see, Collect Pokemon, I told you, the Pikachu VMAX is selling for $210. Yeah, do you know how much it was selling for in 2021? It was selling for 1,300 US dollar. You actually lose money. If you bought the PSA 10 VMAX Pikachu Hyper Rare in 2021, you lose like a ton of money. I couldn't even calculate the percentage right now in my head, but 2021, 1,300, now 210. You've lost pretty much 1,000 US dollar, 1,100 US dollar if you bought the VMAX Pikachu. But if you bought the booster box, you would have gained 40%. So, you know, if you're doing the math, gaining money is better than losing money. So why would you buy a PSA 10 card? Why would you invest in PSA 10 cards? Right, that's silly. And would you even grade a PSA 10 card? I mean, yeah, the Chomkey Pikachu Hyper Rare, at release, it was over $100. And you wait for 3 years and it just went to 210 minus the grading fees. And if you don't get a PSA 10, you don't get $210. So it's really not worth the risk, in my opinion. And so what I really want to illustrate with these two cards, it doesn't matter whether a set is popular or not. Grading or buying a PSA 10 as an investment, it's just silly, it's just stupid in 2024. It's just really not worth it. So when I see this is really funny. You know, this new set called Twilight Masquerade, and everyone is talking about the Greninja and how these alt art is going up, how EVs, you know, the EV Illustrator Rare is going to be so good. Well, the Greninja is selling for around $200 raw cards. If you grade it and it gets a PSA 10 and you sell it, right now it's around 650 US dollar. Seems a lot, right? You triple your money just by grading it. That is if you are able to get a PSA 10. So there is some risk there. Or would you spend that $200 and hold on and buy two Twilight Masquerade booster boxes and wait 3 years? Maybe by 2027 you can tell me which one is worth it. I am pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that, you know, you'll gain more money and take less risk by buying the booster box, holding on to it, than to spend your money buying a raw or buying a PSA 10. Because PSA 10 cards, they do go up in price, but you know, in this modern 2024 era, there's just so many of them. And if they do go up in price, the booster box will also go up in price because people think that they can actually gain money by opening one of these cards. So with that said, can you guys see my point in why I don't grade? I quit grading a lot of these cards anymore. And to be very honest, I've prepared myself to grade a lot of these cards, but I stopped. Can you guys see all these amazing rares? You know, I've kept it all in card savers. I wanted to grade them, but I held it off back then because it was just so expensive. It took so long to grade back then, so I held it off. And I'm so glad I held it off because, you know, getting a PSA 10 of this, it's really not worth anything. If you go eBay, it's selling for what, like 20, 30 US dollar, and the grading fee is like what, 12, 15. So it's just not worth grading modern cards anymore. You might be better off spending those money buying a booster box at MSRP, or you know, at whatever price that, you know, we're actually seeing now, usually 110 or 100 US dollar. And yeah, that's that. But with that said, there are certain cards that I would still continue to grade, and that is some promo cards. So some promotional cards, I'm not saying all promotional cards. I mean, look at the illustrated Charizard. I have 100 sitting around stacked up in a card saver. I'm not grading those because I know that those will not be a good investment. Those will not go up. I would not be grading those. And there are some other cards which I just let sitting here. I just don't want to grade them because, like for example, these. I have a bunch of these Scream Psyduck. You know, they're PSA 9, PSA 10 quality, yeah, but I'm not grading them. I have a bunch of Rowlet. Oh, a card just fell out. But I'm not grading them because I just feel like it's a waste of money grading a lot of these cards right now, and it's overrated. It's not maybe later when the PSA 9 card copies do actually go up in price, maybe I'll consider grading, but definitely not now. Maybe when, you know, we get like $9 grading fees, yeah, maybe I will grade them, but not now. And even promo cards, I'm really reluctant to grade. So for set cards, I would not even spend money trying to grade them. I would just use that money to buy booster boxes if I'm looking at investment. Now, at the beginning of the video, I did say that there are certain cards that I would grade, and those cards are usually for my personal collections. Now, if I'm collecting cards, I don't really care about its value. I don't care if the price go up or down. So cards such as these ones, so these are the terrestrialized form of a lot of these Pokemons. I like collecting this set, and I will buy 3 or 5 raw copies, and then I would send 2 into grade, 2 to 3 into grade to see if I can get a PSA 10. And sometimes I just buy the graded one. It's really cheap anyway, so I would not have to spend the time grading it myself. These I would grade, these I would buy at a PSA 10 because I think that it's my collection. I don't really care, and it's not a lot of money. And I think that those cards from my personal collection, those I would grade. But generally speaking, I would not grade cards for an investment purpose. Just like the Liaza or the Alterias, I have 100 of them. I graded them not to profit off them, but rather I like to collect it. It looks cool. They're all slapped up as PSA 10. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my take about grading cards in 2024. And if you're investors, if you're new to this hobby and you want to just think about, oh my God, if you get this in PSA 10, this is how much. If you get this in PSA 10, this is how much. A lot of YouTubers tends to say that, and it's misleading in a way because it's not profitable. Yes, it is a lot of money. It is big money, but in terms of investment, it's just not sustainable. And the opportunity cost is much higher. You take much higher risk in buying a raw and grading it. So yeah, that's what I think. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Membership, join me. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. This is Clyde Pokemon. Bye bye.